Hello friends, I am Jana Kellum and I'm the creator and founder of the Everlasting Love Club, and I'm here with Hump Day Relationship number 17, which is, are you settling in a relationship? And this is kind of the perpetual question. I hear this a lot from clients and from friends. People want to know, how can I tell if what I'm doing is settling or if this is just kind of how relationships go? And I realize I have this like kind of crazy blue glow that's coming from my laptop, which is right down here. Anyhow, so what I wanted to talk about is an easy way that you can tell if what is going on for you is that you are settling, or if what's going on is that this is just a typical kind of maybe little slump in a relationship. So first I want to start by saying, if there is any sort of abuse that's happening, whether it's verbal or physical or otherwise, that's a deal breaker. That's not even settling. That's just, that needs to be, that relationship needs to be done. You need to get out. So I just want to start by saying that, because sometimes people can kind of get a little bit foggy about that. So that, and then the other thing that I want to say is that passion does tend to kind of come in waves, and sometimes I think when people pass that initial phase in a relationship, they've had the ramp up and things are like, whoa, and it's kind of, I call it the honeymoon phase of the relationship. And then they get to the other side of that, where things sort of start to settle down into a different kind of rhythm, one that's a little bit more sustainable over the course of a relationship. Sometimes they start to feel like, maybe I'm settling now, maybe this, maybe I'm supposed to have just like cloud 9 level passion, for the rest of my days. And I would say that that's not the case, that things don't stay the same forever. That's also not to say that that there's a loss of affection, because if you lose affection for, or just kind of like a general sense of like, really care about this human being, then that's a sign that there's a deeper problem. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you are settling, but it could mean that. So the easiest way to tune into that kind of clarity is to go inside. And if you've been with me for a while, you've probably heard me say that kind of thing quite a bit, because it's really my go-to thing. You have all of your own answers, so that answer to this question of am I settling or not is within you. So I recommend taking a minute, close your eyes, or however long you need. It might be longer than a minute, but just take however much time you need and go internal. Take some deep breaths, get yourself centered and grounded, and start to notice your breathing. Do whatever process it is that you do where you can tune in to your inner guidance. And I'll do some more, I don't know if it's going to be a Hump Day Relation Tip or a blog post or whatever, but I'll do some more talking about how to get to that centered, aligned place. But just start there, however it is that works for you. And if you don't have a process that you already use, you can just close your eyes, take several deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth, and just start to really focus on what's going on inside your body. And then notice, when you think about this relationship, when you think about this person, what's the initial sensation that comes up? And don't judge it or second guess it, just notice, like, is the sensation that comes up, does it feel like, ugh, and like kind of like everything contracts, and do you feel almost like a sense of fear, or do you feel like, and kind of everything feels open and expansive and like a sort of, what's the word? Like a sense of like all is right with the world. Let's put it that way. So you're feeling in your body for that, just that initial kind of gut instinct. And if what you're feeling is that contracting sense, that might be a sign that this relationship is not working for you, or that you are settling, or that there's something else that needs to be tweaked in the relationship so that you can have the kind of fulfilling, engaging, loving, passionate joyful relationship that you want to have. I would also say that I think that very often the reason that people stay in relationships longer than maybe they should, and I'm totally guilty of this from my past life, so I recognize it right away in other people, is that they are afraid of being single. They're afraid that they're just gonna end up an old, spinster, crazy cat lady all by themselves, and that's not a good enough reason to stay in a relationship with someone. That is settling. You should feel some sort of sense of love and caring, and there should be a connection that's important to you in that relationship. It shouldn't just be about like, I just don't want to not be with anyone. So that kind of leads me into, and I don't want to talk too much about this in this particular RelationTIP because I don't want this to go super, super long. But you may have heard of the concept of upper limit problems, and I have written about this on my blog, so you can check that out there. But essentially, I think a lot of times when people are having a really great time in a relationship, things seem to be going really well, and then kind of all of a sudden, things start to feel not great. That's usually an upper limit problem. So if you want me to talk about that more next time, comment or like this or give me some sort of indication that you want me to go into more depth on the upper limit problem component of this decision. But mostly what I want you to get from this is the question of whether or not you are settling in a relationship is totally it's totally based on what's going on inside you. So do you feel fear and contracting and yuck when you think about this person, or do you feel like excited and intrigued and engaged, and maybe you just need to find a way to sort of spice things up? And cool, Mitchell, I will totally talk about upper limit problems next week. Thanks for commenting. Okay, so that is what I have to say about settling for today. Thank you so much for being here with me tonight. It was a little bit of a later time, but I think I may try doing a little bit later and see if that works better for everybody's schedule. So if that's something that you would like for me to do, then you can comment on that below as well. And I hope that you all have an awesome week, and I will talk to you again next week for Hump Day RelationTIP number 18. Thank you so much. Bye.